first distribution we're gonna try is Debian, the universal operating system. If you don't choose the web installer, if you go to other downloads on their webpage and you actually get the full package, like the DVD installer, you get all of it, and you will see what I mean with all of it. And that might make Debian a very good start into the Linux world. Also, you might find people that would argue the majority of Linux distributions out there are somewhat dependent on Debian. I don't know the exact numbers, but the last one I heard was there are between 500 and 600 actively maintained Debian-based Linux distributions. Most famous one probably would be Ubuntu and all its flavors, and then Linux Mint, which is then based on Ubuntu, which subsequently is based on Debian. So if you want to look into that kind of stuff, feel free, go to the Debian website, read for yourself. We're gonna now quickly go through the installer. It's pretty standard. One thing I have to say, I did switch to Ethernet because these USB dongles are sometimes not really, you know what, screw it. We're gonna go with the USB dongle, but with this one, I did try that weird Chinese one I have, and this is a old TP-Link T2U Wi-Fi USB dongle. Let's see. So that means we can somehow see how each distro installer, how each distro installer handles somewhat out of the ordinary Wi-Fi setup. I personally prefer Ethernet, but Wi-Fi has its place, so it is what it is. See you after the install wizard. It's not really install wizard. Okay, I hope that the capture card delay is not so much. Yeah, it is that much. I would totally miss pressing F12 at the right time. As a matter of fact, I can currently... There! Now I have a picture on my screen. Fantastic. I have to apologize. The screen will maybe a little bit small in terms of font at some point, because I have to run the native 4K resolution, and before proper graphics drivers are installed, that is not always the best way to do it. This one right now is large, but you will see in a second what I'm talking about. Okay, we will obviously boot from our micro SD card. I hope that's the right one. Should have Debian on it. And there we go. Graphical install, we choose. And yeah, it is a bit tiny, but we will get through it. We choose English as our language. We will go to Canada because of the time zone thing. We choose American English as our keyboard layout. You can, in some installers, choose a different system language compared to the keyboard layout, but you can usually also set that up later within the system. Most people don't have the need for that, but I, for instance, have a laptop with a German keyboard on it. Oh, see, it did detect our wireless Ethernet adapter. That is kind of cool. Let's choose that one. Did I just say wireless Ethernet adapter? You know what I mean. It's configuring the network. What I was saying earlier. Oh yeah, I have a laptop with a German keyboard, but I prefer my system in English. And that is sometimes a bit of a hassle to set that up. And trust me, you do not want to have an English keyboard layout when you actually use a German keyboard. I also noticed that terminal work with a German keyboard can be a bit a pain in the butt, just because where certain keys are located. Anyhow, we're gonna go here with all the standard, because it's only for demonstration purposes. And I'm gonna use enter instead of constantly clicking continue, that takes too long. Yes, we go with Debian. Domain name, we have no domain name. Root password. Full name. Done. The new user, yes, yes. Yes. We're on mountain time. So if you use guided and use the entire disk, it will nuke whatever is on that disk. And it will not really ask you twice. I think it asks you twice, but not 3 times. And in this case, make sure you choose the right hard drive. This is my hard drive, this is the USB stick, and it doesn't make much sense to install it on a stick. I would also recommend, if you do something like this, try to do it undisturbed, not when your kids are on your case every 2 seconds. You choose the wrong hard drive and then nuke 400 gigabytes of backed up data. Don't ask how I know. All files in one partition, recommended for new user. That's what we will do. So, finish partitioning and write changes to disk. Absolutely. Yes, just go with the standard. If you're obviously a more advanced user and you have different needs for your partitioning, you can change all of that. But this is not what this is about. Yeah, you are installing from a DVD image, even though it contains a large selection of packages. Some may be missing. It should work. Use a network mirror in order to install other packages. Yes, we do that, but it should work without it. And we will use the Canadian mirror. Sure. This one. We do not need that because we are not on a company network or anything, or a shared network. Configuring apt. Apt is the package manager. What does that actually stand for? Apt stands for Advanced Package Tool. One could have guessed that. I'm reading from Wikipedia now. Advanced Package Tool, apt, is a free software user interface that works with core libraries to handle the installation and removal of software on Debian and Debian-based Linux distributions. So, configuring popularity contest. We will not participate in that right now. Sending user data and bug stuff back to the distro. Okay, just continue. Okay, and here's a cool feature of Debian I was not aware of until I did this for the first time around in order to see if this computer is actually capable of doing what I tried to do with it. See, these are all desktop environments. GNOME, XFCE, GNOME Flashback, KDE Plasma, Cinnamon, Mate, LXDE, LX. So if you want to have all of these options on, let's say, Ubuntu, you would have to install a separate distribution or a separate flavor of Ubuntu every single time. Yes, I know you can technically rip out the GNOME desktop from any given distro and then install KDE Plasma on top of it and all the themes and blah, 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 blah. But that's not the point here, right? We try to do end user stuff, not 2 hours of terminal work and then hope for the best kind of deal. We do not need web server and SSH server. Okay, these are the regular ones. It will install them in parallel. And then at the beginning of each session, before you log in, I'm gonna show you later, you can choose which desktop you want to boot into or start into. And I think that's quite convenient to give you an overview on which desktop you feel familiar with. Because if someone tells you, oh, you're a new user, just install Linux Mint, and You're like me, you install Linux Mint and you think, yeah, that works great, but it looks the way it looks. Choices were made and I didn't like it. Multiple display managers can run simultaneously if they are configured to manage different servers. Configure the display managers according. Well, we just continue with this one. Yeah, and I didn't like Linux Mint, and then you start distro hopping. This way you can set up your system with like the software you want to have, and I don't know, Start Light Linux worked for the beginning, like LibreOffice, do your writing there or stuff, and then you can just switch between the different desktop environments and you can see which one suits your workflow best without having to uninstall a distro, reinstall a distro, and do this process over and over again. Because quite frankly, I do usually have better things to do with my time than distro hopping. Other people have other opinions. That's fine. Okay, we are back. Make sure to remove the installation thing. I have to say, this install menu, it is not the prettiest in the world, but it is very clearly laid out and it's very easy to understand without too much fuss. No fancy world maps, no other stuff, which you don't really need as long as it is well laid out. It does start with the grub bootloader. If you don't touch anything, it just starts into Debian. This is kind of a, I don't want to call it a Linux quirk, but this is something you see in Linux startup systems that is usually in Windows or Mac hidden from the user, but it's irrelevant, right? Most of the time you don't need that unless something goes horribly wrong, and then there are other ways to deal with that. But nothing should go horribly wrong. So we're gonna go and log in as Dom. And before we now log in, down here, and that is true for a lot of Linux distros, not just Debian, they have often down here or down there, sometimes up there or sometimes up there, a little sort of context menu where you can choose your session. You will see on Ubuntu later that there's, for instance, you can choose between X11 and Wayland. Anyhow, but here are now all the desktop environments we installed earlier. And let's go through them. Let's start with GNOME, because that's the default one, which you would see if you just log in for the first time. And disclaimer, I'm absolutely biased against KDE, is that right? No, that is not right. I'm really biased and I prefer KDE. I don't like GNOME. I don't see the need for it. I really personally don't get it. To me, it just seems in a desktop environment, it just adds extra steps without solving an actual issue. On the other hand, if there would be a full-fledged Linux mobile version, let's say on mobile phone or tablets, and I mean mass market, not some community made or hacked phone thing, then I would think GNOME would be a fantastic environment. It somewhat reminds me on a desktop they used on an old Sony Xperia Active, which ran Android, and it had a very, very small screen, and it was one of my favorite phones I ever had. And instead of having a dock or taskbar on the bottom, it had tiny little dots in all 4 corners of the screen. And since the phone was so small, you could just go click, 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 and it would then open up a little menu bubble, and you can then choose the apps you want to use. But I do not see the need for that on a desktop. Let's take the tour, why not? Let's begin. Learn about the key features in Debian, and see, they call it GNU Linux, because Linux is technically just a kernel. As soon as you add desktop environment and such on top, it's based on GNU. You can get an overview by using your Windows key, or also called the super key in Linux. It's quite a handy thing to have. Powerful search, that is right, because that actually does work in Linux so much better than Windows. Can't speak for Mac, not using Mac lately. Workspaces, yeah, some people like it. Once again, a feature I don't need, because I have 3 screens, and if I need more workspaces than 3 screens, then I did something wrong in my workflow. Swipe up and down, great, we are on a desktop with a mouse, not on a laptop, but it's good that it is supported.
I want to put some painting.
You want to do painting?
I want to painting on my paintbrush.
You want to do painting with your paintbrush?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna come and get you all set up, okay? Okay, that's the end of the tour apparently. And then you will be in your GNOME desktop. And there you see where my personal problem is. GNOME does not come with a taskbar as such, but on the other hand it comes with this top bar, which takes up as much space as a taskbar, but it is somewhat useless, in my opinion. You have to click here, and then it does this thing, and then you have your dock down here. I don't even know, can you like drag that into the taskbar? No, you cannot, because I have different screens. I don't know, like I said, I personally don't need it. On a laptop I could see why, but I do not know why the hell do I need to have an extra step in order to click on something. If this would be full screen, completely full screen without this bar, I could see that work. I mean, okay, I show you. This is the file system. That's what it looks like. Pretty standard. There's nothing special about it, in my opinion. And I will not look deeper into it because I really don't like it. So what I will do instead is show you the other desktop environments. And that should work as in log out. DOM again, and then we can choose another one. Let's start at the top, LXDE. I do not know that one. Apparently it looks like this. And I'm pretty sure this can be modified, because on this display this is so tiny I can't see anything. Hang on a second. Desktop preferences, invert selection, short sort files, desktop preferences. Is that maybe where we have, no. Okay, where is screen settings? Bloody Nora. Let's try something else. Lightweight X11 desktop environment. Oh, that's what it stands for. Okay, yeah, lightweight looks like it. Log out. Let's move on to Cinnamon. This is, by the way, one of the desktop environments that comes with Linux Mint. Ah, see, even though it's on a 4 screen, it is a little bit larger. But now, if you do right click, this also looks like a more regular context menu. See what happens if we click out display settings. That's where we are. Why is this such a weird resolution? Is that the right one? Yeah, probably. Let's see if we go to here, and then maybe you guys can see that a little bit better. Okay, I have to click accept. Okay, let's keep the changes for a moment. Can you guys see that better? I guess you can, eh? But for me, it now looks like this. Okay, I have to change that back and just change the scaling. Let's go back to this one. Oh man, there is so much lag. Okay, keep changes, thank you. Let's just go to 200%, apply, keep changes, and now we're cooking. Okay, so there we go. It did already get my printer and it should print. That is something I have to say in Linux. On average, the printer experience is so much better than on Windows. Okay, down here, it's funny that they put the terminal right down kind of front and center in your taskbar. Anyhow, it's a pretty familiar looking interface if you ever used Windows in the 90s. Let's just check out Firefox real quick. If we get there. Yeah, okay, let's go just YouTube. Let's go here because then I don't get in trouble. Oh, even my sweet little internal speaker on my computer here works. It obviously sucks, but that's not a Linux issue. Okay, that works. Okay, you will also see, let's say, create new document. Empty document only. However, if you go to Office, you do have LibreOffice installed. But that is a thing. Some distributions do not come with the context menu, create new LibreOffice document pre-installed. Well, let's check out the next environment. When shut down hibernate. What is hibernate? How do I log out? Suspend. Okay, that's not what I wanted. That is sort of what I wanted, I guess. Nope, I cannot. I was not logged. Oh wait, maybe now up here. Up here. Yeah. No, I don't want to restart. Okay, how do you log out of? Oh, is it maybe this one? They have a separate. Okay, that's fair enough. That's actually kind of funny. But you know, there is something to be said about not having everything look different. So, okay, where were we? Whatever GNOME Flashback is, let's check that out. So yeah, GNOME can look like a regular desktop. I'm gonna pump up this because apparently these settings are... What? What has changed? Nothing has changed. Why does this not change? Whoa, that has changed. Nope. What are we doing here? What are we on now? 200%? Where is now my pop-up window? Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. That's that experience. I don't know why it is the way it is, but it is the way it is. Might be a graphic cards issue. I don't know. It's GNOME. I don't care. Because as I said, I never had a good experience with it. Okay. Go to one more GNOME one, I suppose. We have to. And yeah, so there you are. Looks like the other one. I don't know what Xorg is. Let me check that. Xorg is a X Windows system, a graphical interface for Linux and other operating systems. Probably works better with certain drivers. Oh, look, it has display settings right there. Let's see what happens if we go here and apply 200. Nothing. Okay, go here, apply, and that all of a sudden works. You might have a different experience. Let's go with the default X session, which is then apparently also based on Xorg, I suppose. could not apply the stored configuration for monitors. Required virtual size does not fit available. Okay. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's something not right. That is not the right thing for my computer. How do I now log out? Nope. Nope. No. No. Oh, wait. Quit? Quit what? Quit whatever that was. Nope, that's not what we want. We want... I don't want that anymore. How? Ah! No. Oh no. Where the hell is now my logout? Of course, it's under System. Sure. Now we're getting into KDE territory. And as you can see, it looks, hang on, desktop. It looks a little bit more familiar if you come from Windows. But I'm not fighting through all of these weird environments. I mean, though this is really just personal preference.
Like they're on table.
You want to go on the table?
No.
No, you hit yourself on the table, yeah? Okay, I did get a little visitor down underneath my desktop. I mean, underneath my table here. Yeah, it's okay. Alright, let's check out this together, eh?
Okay.
Let's log in. Mate desktop environment on Debian. Okay, I tangled up my mouse into all kinds of other. It seems like it tries to bring the monitor setups from the last session into the new session. Okay, he's gone again. But that doesn't always work. That's fine. But once again, if you switch from Linux, if you switch from Mac or Windows, this does look very familiar. But once again, it does not have the Office, LibreOffice. You cannot just go right click, create new file, and this is what it looks like. And down here you can, I mean, it doesn't help you much if I show you all this, because depends on which machine you install that the scaling and everything will be different, right? No, don't save. But yeah, you can go to the DOM folder, and then you have here File Manager, pretty familiar looking, and this time I don't have to panic and I actually know how to log out of this. Oh yeah, okay. OpenBox, never used that either, I don't know what it is. Let's have a look. I hope it is really great when you failed in authentication agent already exists for the given subject. Okay. Can we get a no? Let's try and reboot our computer. But that was not great, was it? I don't know what went wrong. Doesn't matter. But overall, so far, I actually really like the Debian experience. It might not look like the swankiest, fanciest. Okay, let's see. Plasma, Wayland. I do not know how the support for this old thing is on Wayland. That is fine, we will see. Log in. KDE Plasma. Okay. You guys seem to not see that on your stream, but to me, for some reason, it now looks like this again. That might have something to do with Wayland. Sorry. Let's see, display configuration. Yeah, it chose the wrong. Let's go here and apply. Okay, can I get output? Thank you. So I can actually click on keep. That has nothing to do with Linux, it's just a delay of my video capture card. So now we are full screen. There we go. Fantastic. Why does this has... Oh, if you do not trust this program, click cancel. Okay, continue. I see. Yeah. That's our DVD-ROM, file system, SanDisk. It's your regular. Same to this. Continue. Yes, I trust my own computer. Hi. Don't know if I trust the trash can. That's fine. Okay. But this is what it looks like. And this is all about out-of-the-box experience. But down there you would have system settings, and then you can switch to, let's say you go this, and then it switches everything to dark. And KDE is very, very customizable out of the box, whereas with GNOME you have to install all kind of extensions to do certain things. This is why I prefer this, and it just looks more familiar. You can also like right click on the taskbar, and then you go show panel configuration. You can tell it I want the panel height, focus on shortcut. You can set the position of the panel if you want it there, or if you freaking want it over there. Well, you get the idea. There's nothing out of the ordinary actually here, and that is quite what I like. Exit the edit mode. But you might like different things. Okay. Let's go to logout. I found that because I usually use KDE, and therefore I knew where it was. I have to say the green running man is kind of funny on the other ones. I like that one as soon as I figured out what it is. Okay, and then if we now go to KDE Plasma on X11, it will look pretty much the same. There's just Wayland is better when you have multi-monitor. Oh no, it comes with a different background. Look at that. Wayland is usually better when you have a multi-monitor setup with different resolutions, because X11 does not provide per monitor scaling. What is this? Be Free Conqueror. I don't know. Okay, but other than that, you also got this, and you can also go and like drag stuff usually into the taskbar and right click, and then it says unpin from taskbar. It's all very familiar. So yes, let's log out again. It's XFCE. I wonder if we installed all of the things we need for this one. Okay, this is what this looks like. Has a little bit more of a dock kind of Apple feel to it, I would say. Less so than the modern version, but I would say that this is also acceptable. Now there comes the point where we have to find how to log out. This? No, that's not what it is. This is probably the internet of some sort, web browser. Network, file system, home, applications, no, up there, no. Where are we? No, oh, DOM maybe, if I click on DOM, yay! Log out. And the last one, XFCE on Wayland. He's what? What was that now? Wayland? Okay. Weird. What's going on? No idea. Guess we're not gonna see this. Well, MX Linux libretto. It starts as a live session, so you can immediately test it. Like, we could now go Firefox, and it should start Firefox. Some server was not found. Finding that site. Okay, there might be some issue with the network. Oh yeah, of course, I didn't give it my login. That was before. No, not hidden Wi-Fi network. No, nonsense. New Wi-Fi network. No, I don't want to do that either. Available networks. Oh, I see. That was a clear read properly and then you know what's going on issue. Now read the fucking manual. Sometimes very advisable. This seems like being designed for laptops, because why would I have a power thing down here and then it sets you into presentation mode and such? Yeah, this is a more laptop focused version. But it found my network without an issue. Create document. No integration on that front. What do we have here? Thunder. Oh, sorry, Thunar. Thunder. The Thunar. Oh, yeah, it looks like this. What else do we have? Do we have somewhere all apps? Is that down there? Yep. Multimedia stuff. Comes with the VLC player. Office. Okay, this is backwards or the other way around. I don't know why you need that, but it is what it is. Let's go LibreOffice Writer. And then that's what it is. Not offensive or anything. I envision the install process is probably pretty easy too. Let's have a look at it. This is what happens if you boot into a live session, and then you can install from within the live session. So if there's something that offends you right off the bat, don't have to deal with it. Oh, I totally forgot. Did it find my printer? Let's see if we can still do that while this thing is doing in the background. Let's say file, and we would like to print. Is my printer there? My printer is there. Let's go next. Regular install, use the entire disk. Oh yeah, there's gives you all kinds of information. It's actually quite nicely laid out. These actions cannot be undone. Yes, we are aware of that. Start. Oh, I see. It's formatting in the background while you can go and set up all the other stuff. That is actually kind of cool. Well, we are not in New York, not in Iqaluit either. And oh, it actually does have Edmonton on it. Fantastic, but that is not in America. Oh, well, yes, it is in America. It's just not in the US. We keep everything else. This is actually kind of cool that it starts copying in the background while I set up all this stuff. User password. Set one up just in case. You never know. We do auto login. No, we will not do auto login. Next, and then now it's copying the new system. That's pretty quick, I have to say. I mean, also it has to install way less than the former Debian because it came with all those desktop environments, right? Adjusting my sound mixer. That's another thing. I actually never really had issues with sound output. The layout might be a little bit different than on Linux, than on Windows or on Mac, but overall it usually just worked. Installing the bootloader, grub, cool. Looks pretty sleek, I have to say. Like, I do like this design. It's not as dark as dark, it's not as bright as bright, it's something somewhat in the middle. I'm pretty sure you can move this bar down here at some point. Like, the reason why I don't like panels on the side is because a lot of the CAD programs, they have all their tools on the side. And to me, width of the viewfinder of the viewport is more important than height. So therefore, if I have to have a static panel on a single screen system, it would be down there, not on the side. But I also don't want to have it hidden behind something. Okay, we removed the stick. I did not see that it told us to do so, but it might have told us to do so, and I just didn't see it. Yeah, and then we can now boot into Libretto. MX Linux. What is that Libretto thing? That looks cool, I have to say. Like it. Libretto is the code name for the MX Linux 23 series, which is based on Debian and offers a user-friendly experience with long-term support until June 2028. It features various desktop environments, including XFCE and KDE. I have to double check real quick. Which one did we install here? Is this before I do? That's the wrong keyboard. I wonder how often I'm gonna do this. Oh no, this is the XFCE. This is not the KDE version. I installed the XFCE version. Popular apps. Okay, close. Where do we have our app store? Would be down there somewhere. And then system. Not all applications. Oh, up here. No, that's not right. That's the lock screen. No. Okay, what is this? I do not want to run the package manager like that. I try to find where I can install other applications. What's this? Unmount? No, I don't want to unmount. These are probably... Let's just check that. Create a new folder. Sure, and then if you go here... Oh no, I didn't set that up right, whatever. It is set to one click opens the thing. Yeah, it seems like this is very much optimized for laptop use. Switch user? No. How the hell do I install? Clipman is probably your clipboard. Where would I find that? I mean, it comes with almost everything installed, but still, if you would like to, I don't know, install Steam or something, where would I find this? Internet? No, is it maybe the package manager? Is there maybe when I log in? Ah! Okay. Is that what I'm... That doesn't seem to be the right thing I'm looking for. Okay, let's close that again before we cock it up. Pretty sure you can do all that through the package manager, but it would be nice to have like a little, you know, click on, download, Kden Live, shortcut, any of that kind of stuff. It's slightly disappointing because everything else is nice looking. Yeah. No worries, this is me having an old crappy mouse. Is the user manual? I see. Software management, there we go. MX package installer, MXPI for one-click installation, removal of popular applications. This includes application in the Debian stable. MX package installer. Where would... Let's just go here and search for MX package installer. Toodaloo. See, if you know what you're looking for, you actually can find what you're looking for. What's going on here? Why can I not... Ah, there we go. Yeah, and then if I would say, let's say I would like to install a shortcut. No, not install packages. Okay, this is clearly I do not know my way around this distro. This does not mean that this is not good. I just... Oh, there. Oh, you even have... Includes this repository of Flatpaks for users. That's quite neat to see. Flatpak pre-enabled. That is something not done in the official Ubuntu world. Yeah, and there you could then probably install this, and then let's check it out. Install the following package where selected. Sure. Well, that took a bit. I don't know if that's because of my slow Wi-Fi dongle thingy here or what's going on, but yeah. Okay. Let's see how that would look like. Go down there and we now look for shortcut. That should be somewhere. It's right there. That's the Flatpak, and there it starts. Shortcut in all its simple glory. It installs, it does things. Shut down. Okay, antiX. Why does this now not work with the resolution anymore? No idea, we will see later. Okay. Oh, there we are. There is mine. Choose the Wi-Fi, I suppose. That's the wrong keyboard. Okay. Totally helps when someone uses the correct passphrase. Why is this still allegedly wrong? Yes, I would like to retry. Okay, rescan. Try to connect. Okay. I will not connect to the internet, and this, in my opinion, already disqualifies it. What is this down here? This is a very minimal distro, I guess, to run on small systems. No, don't need that. Well, it has a file manager. Has a I never set up a password. This is a live session. Okay. Well, it has apparently a software center. Yeah. Well, that's antiX. Not gonna spend more time with this. We're gonna shut down. Next up, SparkyLinux. I don't know, the distribution for electricians, I suppose. It comes in it comes equipped with 3 different desktop environments: KDE, Mate and XFCE. However, it doesn't come with that neat switch my desktop environment feature like Debian did. You have to make your choice before you install, so it's 3 different installs. I don't expect the installation process to be too different. As a matter of fact, I expect them to be the same, so I'm going to show that at the beginning, and then I show you the 3 different desktop environments. Okay, there is no mouse at this point. I can only wrong keyboard again. God damn it. Yeah, keyboard controls work. Looks a bit Star Trek-y, if I may say so. I would assume it's booting into a live session. Yes, it does. Welcome to the Sparky world. App Center, homepage, forums, wiki. Okay, let's pretend we are ignorant as hell and don't read any of that. I just click install. Ah, there we go. The system is not connected to the internet. Okay. Does that mean it did not recognize my Wi-Fi dongle? You will see. Next. No, we are not there. We are in. Yeah, this is the same map that Ubuntu uses as well. It's our default keyboard. Yes, it is. We will do erase disk. Yeah, this looks all very Ubuntu Debian-ish. Nothing out of the ordinary. Let's go with this. And then we choose a password, just in case. It's shorter than 6 characters, seriously. Oh my god. Really, the password is too simplistic. God damn it. Can I just choose the password I want? Why is this your problem? Oh my god, okay. Hi. We will see if we can set up the Wi-Fi easily after installation. That is sometimes the case. May I say at this point, this is quite slow. Also, I may say at this point, if the resolution is a little bit weird, I apologize. Something went yucky with my capture card. I don't know why, and I don't know what. But at some point in this series I will get that under control again, I have the feeling. Restart now. Okay. Yeah, I would assume so, because we haven't set up Wi-Fi yet. Yup, no kidding. Okay. The Aptus App Center. Okay, can we just not? Let's see. I go to System, I guess. System settings. Is there? Oh wait, there is a network thing. No available connections. How's that? Okay. Let's see how we would set that up if we were so inclined. Wi-Fi and internet. No, I don't want a wired connection. I want to add Wi-Fi. Create. Okay, this is inconvenient. And I'm not saying this cannot be solved, but I'm not going through all the trouble to just set up now a Wi-Fi. Then I have to dig up all my information and that kind of stuff. And considering that we are looking for a very super beginner friendly distro, this does not exactly qualify. Sorry, Sparky. You look cool though. What did it come with? GIMP. Office. Okay, does it have the contact? Click. Create new. Oh, yeah. It does have LibreOffice Writer and everything already included. That's cool. I prefer that. Okay. Yeah, looks like LibreOffice. Now let's check if we can go. Why does it run at this weird resolution? Well, hey, I now have full screen. Fantastic. And it went up to 110% right away because 100% is way too small. I like it. You guys didn't really see a difference because I changed my... I had to change the pass-through and the recording from the capture card to a different resolution. That might have been why it picked up this weird, what it was before. Anyhow, that's not what I was going to check. I was actually going to go desktop and wallpaper. No, I don't want to do that either. Display configuration. Where would that be? Themes. I saw it under settings. Why is it not in display? Go to system. Go to system. Where was settings now? Now I can't find it again. Hi. Oh, print settings. Let's check that for a second. Did it connect my... Oh no, of course it cannot find my printer because it could not connect to the network. System settings. There we go. Let's switch to a dark theme. Make it a global theme. Apply. And now see if the underlying app... Oh, we can just open it here. Did it also... Yeah, it didn't. It didn't switch to dark. Yeah, we've seen that before. I mean, this up here is now dark, but this all is not. Once again, a thing that can be solved, but out of the box. Not awesome, sorry. Okay, let's check out the other desktop environments. Well, okay then, this is the Mate edition. I will not install that now. I will just go through it on in the live version. That might therefore be a bit sluggish, but at the end of the day, you get the idea. Yeah, this is a thing, the green running man symbol, which I stumbled across before, but everything else seems to be exactly the same. Create new document. Oh! Create new LibreOffice file is not here. That could be because it's a live session. Let's see. LibreOffice. No, it does start. Write a document. There it is. Let's see if we can do... Okay, right click does not give me display settings. Okay, let's see if we can find them down here somewhere. Probably control center. Display. Why does it run at 30 Hertz? Whatever. Okay, close. That's not what I wanted. I want to see... Oh, look and feel. Okay, my bad. Appearance, I suppose. Customize your desktop. There we go. I don't know, instead of going with something black like I usually do, let's just go with submarine. That looks different, but it's only to see if a changed theme translates over to... Okay, that also changed this a lot. Fine. Oh, it actually changes over to this window. Does it also change over to the... Yep, this time it does change over. Interesting. Well, it's time for the next one. SparkyLinux 8 in the Mate desktop version. File manager, trash can, looks all very familiar. This is the hard drive. Right click, does it give me desktop settings? Yes, can change that here. Does it give me display settings? No. But it has an application drop-down menu. That is actually quite handy, to be honest. It does not have the create new document LibreOffice connected. Does it come with Office? Yes, it does come with Office. But if you don't know you have the right click, you would do that from down here. Let's check. Oh, live session user still has the Debian logo up there. Where would we be? Office over here. Sorry, I can't see that right because my microphone is in the way. LibreOffice Writer. Yep, that does work. Launch. It seems to just change the actual desktop background. Let's see if there actually are themes. That would then be in settings, I suppose. Oh, settings and then I guess appearance. Okay, that's interesting. XFCE Dawn. I don't know what that means. Would be nice to see that before I choose something. But oh, Sparky Dark. Let's go with that. Da da da. Okay. And now let's see if our LibreOffice also switched to dark. And indeed it did. Lovely. My opinion from the 3 desktop environments, even though I prefer usually KDE, I actually like this one better in this very case, but that's just my personal opinion. Well, the next distro on the list is Deepin Linux. Never heard of it before. Let's go and check it out. It only comes apparently with one desktop environment, unless it has that fancy choose your session feature like Debian had, but I doubt it, just judging by the size of the ISO file. Try Deepin Desktop. This one kernel is apparently from October 23 or something like this, and this is the one from November 24. So I would say we go with this one. Is this pronounced Deepin or Deepin, or completely different? I don't know. Ah, I see. This is Asian forward. Interesting. Where are we? Oh, mouse. Mouse. We're gonna go with English though. Have I? Yes, I guess so. Full disk. Yes. Sure. I on my end have a small resolution again. It's not full screen. Oh, I didn't know that this is apparently an immutable system. That means in order to make a major update, you basically have to replace the entire core system. But it also makes it unbelievably stable, as far as I understand. And it's way harder to cock up your distro. Reboot now. Ah, you do that after install. Interesting. Am I allowed to use a weak password, please? Oh, look, there's already Wi-Fi. Ah, it detected it. And connection established. Fantastic. Keyboard layout. Yes, yes. Time zone, Beijing. No, not exactly. Bloody hell, is Deepin Linux a Chinese Linux distro? Like I said in the intro, I just randomly downloaded them. I did not research them. I only know what I know about the ones I used myself. Linux Deepin in High-Wheat Linux is a Linux distribution. It features the Deepin desktop environment. The Deepin user base is predominantly Chinese, though DDE is in most prominent Linux distributions. The company behind the development is Deepin Technology, a wholly owned subsidiary of Union Tech. It's based in Wuhan, China. Well, other people might be concerned about doing such an installation. I quite literally have a Chinese-made cell phone, so I couldn't care less. Let's just see, we are in... That's interesting. Canada is not even on the list. Oh, right, because I'm an idiot, because those are freaking cities. Ha ha ha. There we go. Duh. Yeah, because it's the other way around than in other distros where you first choose the country. Canada. Not Cameroon. Canada. Sure. It takes about a few minutes. That's interesting phrasing. To be quite honest, the time zone and the location is probably not that important. However, there are certain billing applications that put the wrong timestamp on the invoice if your settings are all screwy. Obviously, we are not using that during these testings, but yeah, it's just a thing I do. It indeed takes about a few minutes. Holy cow. Looks pretty. Apparently Huawei ships laptops with this distribution pre-installed since 2019, according to Wikipedia. Oh, there we go. Did you guys hear that? It actually came with a little jingle. It's certainly cute. What else do we have here? Just shutdown, keyboard layout, wireless network. Yeah, got it. And enter. Okay. Wow. That's unexpected, but this is definitely, yep. If you speak English, you are allowed to use it. However, our clientele is Chinese. Fair enough. AI search built in. Wow. Do you want to have your stuff aligned in the center? Or do you want to have it aligned on the left? Is this the AI thing? It absolutely is. Holy cow. Huh. What happens when I do align left? Where did... Oh, it just all shifts over a bit. That's the launch pad. That's the App Store. Wow, this is going to be interesting. Social communication. Okay. Can it then starts the store. What does it come? What does it show us? Holy crap. Search result for this. 10-cent meeting. Ali Wang. Okay. It looks pretty, but I have the feeling that well, we're gonna check it out anyways. I have the feeling not many. It has dinging and donging everywhere. Holy crap. Hey, but if you ship a computer, this looks appealing. Not to me, but probably to young. I guess this is probably the browser. What kind of a browser do they use? Holy camoli. Is it browsing? It's doing something. Uses Google search. What the heck is that browser? Do we have a about over here? Looks Chromish. About browser, there we go. It's the browser. It's called browser. Sure, I mean, why would you call it anything else? This is hilarious. Not in a bad way, don't get me wrong. I'm not making fun of this. I actually think this is like an experience I never had. What is the music? What is the music app? I have no music on here, but what does it look like? It is minimize? No, I want to exit. I want to exit. Go away. It's definitely, I would say it's user-friendly. What is this? Is determiner, calendar, calculator? What is this? A text editor, control center, file manager. What does their file manager? Yeah, looks like a file manager. This looks like something that could also run on a mobile device. I mean, color scheme wise and everything, not necessarily because it's set up for touchscreen. What the fuck is Deepin home? Let's see. Oh, I did not expect this at all. Oh, I see. Wow. Huh. Click on computer. But this is, oh, it's just, computers just opens the file manager. I see. Yeah, why would it do anything else? Call for installation. What? What? No, wow. What? Go away. Call for internationalization of translation. Oh, I see. No, I don't want that at the moment. It said it came with LibreOffice. Let's try that. Right click, new document, office text. It saves it as a doc file, and this looks like, wrong keyboard again. This looks totally like the symbol from, this is not the LibreOffice symbol. This is the Microsoft symbol, isn't it? Am I wrong here? Wow. What kind of a resolution are we running here? Why is this the first one that when it is 100% that it is like the document is this large? Hang on. Let's close this. I mean, we have that now. What's going on here? Refresh, organize desktop. What is organized? Oh, okay. This is very Windowsish. What is this now? Why is there? Holy crap! Look, it makes a little thing there for documents. It organizes your desktop in tiny little subsections. Never seen that before done. Okay, display settings. There we go. What kind of resolution are we running here? Okay, what is the scaling? Oh, display scaling, 200%. Well, that makes perfect sense why this is so ginormous. Set successfully, look out for display scaling. Okay. Oh, it doesn't have an apply button. I see. Sure. Let's log out now. Aha. Yeah, that looks a little bit more usable. That looks like 125% is still quite large, to be honest. Different scaling in between would have been nice, 110 or so, but it is okay. What happened with our, oh yeah, right, we organized our desktop. It goes over here. Now we're cooking. Still, this is still larger than on some of the other ones. Do not know how much under the hood changery they did. Anyhow, display, where's the regular settings? What is this? Now let's go to settings first. This is fine. What is this? Multitasking view? Ah, I see. Where would be settings? Frequently used. Yeah, all I ever used. Control center. There we go. Would it be display or would it be power account? Oh, personalization probably. There we go. Hazy color, organic glass. Currently we are in Nirvana, I guess. Oh, appearance, light or dark? Dark. Holy camoli. Okay, let's wait a second. We had this other thing and it came with a different background. There we go. Well, it definitely is not boring. Let's check out what organic, wow. Okay, Windows have now automatically like a somewhat a transparent effect, not too transparent, but a little bit. A little heart on the shopping bag down there. I mean, it's all a little bit, I don't want to say childish, but it's very playful. Let's call it playful. Okay, now let's make this test what I did before. Does LibreOffice switch to dark mode if you switch the system? It does. It wiped the system cache. I don't know if I would use that, but it is definitely interesting. Holy moly. Okay, the App Store goes here. I mean, we've seen it already. It's very... If you don't go to the pre-settings, it actually shows you regular apps. And it is not all Chinese forward. Let's see if we get a search for not something in Chinese characters. Let's say shortcut for... There it is. Shortcut, OpenShot. Okay, hang on a second. What's the difference? Does it tell me? Oh, this is the deb package. Okay. This one. What is a liniapp? Or liniapp? Liniapp? What does this mean? Okay, what does it tell us when we click the L? Apps for Debian. That's what I figured. Okay, what does it say here? Apps for Deepin. Huh. Ask for update. Please install the app first. That makes sense. Oh, there it tells us. There's Android? What the heck? Seriously, does it come with a Windows app? Pre-configured? No. Oh, wait, I turned that off now. I have to have a closer look at this at some point. And now I have to figure out what liniapps is. Liniapps. Just gonna Google that real quick here. How do you spell it? Liniapps. If I mispronounce that, I am sorry, but liniapps.org.cn. Universal Package Manager for Linux. Okay, there is, let's see what GitHub has to say. There's a GitHub article, not a GitHub article, a GitHub repo. What does it tell us? Liniapps, next-gen Universal Package Manager for Linux. Is not yet another packaging system, is a cross-distribution Linux package format developed and open-sourced by the Liniapps community. It implements application packaging, management and distribution through independent sandbox containers, basically like Flatpak, aiming to replace traditional package managers like deb and rp. Liniapps ensures Linux software runs with better compatibility and security and efficiency. Should we see if we can find Microsoft Word? Doesn't bring Microsoft Word, but it does do Edge. I would never use Edge, don't get me wrong here, I just want to try this. I'm gonna check on my other Linux system over here. Does Microsoft Edge come in my Discover store? Oh no, it does, as a Flatpak. So that means, just because I haven't seen it before and I would never use it, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Downloading is unbelievably slow. Another dingy ding. Okay, let's just open that. The browser you can customize in a few steps. Yeah. No. How do I close that now? No, I do not want to accept that and I don't want to get started. How do... Oh, down there. Force quit. Thank you very much. Well, I guess if you want to Microsoftify your Linux distro, this is maybe so far the best out-of-the-box experience, if you want to call it that. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, there you can see different markets have different demands for desktop layout. My shutdown button is over here now. Somewhere is it over here too? Oh yeah, it's down there too. Well, wow. Hibernate, no. No. Just shut down. Start the system monitor. Well, that was Deepin. Or Deepin, or Deepin. It was this one. Definitely not boring. Okay, let's install Q4OS. No questions, full automated. Let's try this one. It does look a little bit outdated, but who cares? It needs to be clear and simple, not pretty. Screen setup scaling at the beginning. That is not a bad thing to have. Okay, Wi-Fi detected. That is good. Clippy. Yeah, where do I put the Wi-Fi password in? Next. Oh, I see. Well, one thing I can say in comparison to this Deepin which we had before, this does not look appealing. But I can see that there is need for what looks like a super lightweight distro like this, but it might not necessarily be everyday desktop use on a regular modern computer. Full featured, okay. Oh, it's still not installed. Jesus. I thought it did that. That's definitely a different approach. It's not a terrible approach, but different. Okay, finish. And now we reboot. Okay. That's a very laborious install process, if I may say so. Okay, that was unexpected. Considering the layout of, and the design, not the layout, the design of the installer, but still it is proprietary codecs, screen scan. This is actually quite nice to have at the beginning. Set auto login. Now close that for now. Have a look around. Documents. Oh, it uses Conqueror. I see. If I understand Conqueror correct, and I never used it myself, I just read the description in the Discover store. It's somehow a file browser meets web browser. Yeah, see, this is also then on Conqueror. Let's see. Okay. Do we have no internet connection for some reason? Why is it disconnected? Is it now connected? I suppose. No. What? What's going on? Well, we are connected. Yes, we are. Audio does work. The design is underwhelming, but we have LibreOffice installed and it's right here on the home screen. That's not bad. Check what we have on right click. Configure desktop. Yeah. Create new. Do we have text file? Link to application. We do not have LibreOffice connected there. What is this down here? Show desktop. No. Let's go to settings, control panel, appearance and themes. Oh. The look switcher? What the hell is a look switcher? Why do I have to set that up? And what? Okay. Sure. Looks a bit Windowsish. Sure. The look switcher. It's definitely clearly named, I guess. Can't even remember. This look is very Windows. Was that 95 or something like that? I can't remember. Long time ago. Okay. Debonair. Default. Slide. Sidebar. Could we move that to the bottom? Configure panel. Can I move it down here? Yes, I can. Okay, let's apply that. Okay. Hey, why not? I mean, if this floats your goat, go right ahead. It's definitely not for me. But that's personal preference. It's your daily time machine, I guess. Back to the 90s. Well, but it does work. Right? recognized our Wi-Fi, even though on the first boot it didn't connect automatically for some weird reason. I don't know why, but now it does connect automatically. Yeah, I guess you can do this if you wish to do this. If you're so hung up on Windows that you really need to have it, I guess this would be the way to go. There are probably other versions. There's like Windows themes and stuff for other distros, but this is like out of the box, in your face. You wanted Windows? Go for it, buddy. We are now in the realm of Linux Mint. However, this is, or this will be, the Linux Mint Debian Edition, LMDE. Do you want to start it? And no. Okay, it starts with a live session and then we have to install it later. Let me read from Linux Mint's webpage why Linux Mint Debian Edition exists. What is LMDE? LMDE is a Linux Mint project which stands for Linux Mint Debian Edition. Its goal is to ensure Linux Mint can continue to deliver the same user experience if Ubuntu was ever to disappear. It allows us to assess how much we depend on Ubuntu and how much work would be involved in such an event. LMDE is also one of our development targets. As such, it guarantees the software we develop is compatible outside of Ubuntu. Because if someone tells you they don't like Ubuntu and you should run Linux Mint, Linux Mint is a direct fork of Ubuntu and still relies heavily on Ubuntu, which is owned by Canonical. And I can envision if, for whatever reason, Canonical would pack up tomorrow or be bought out by someone and they don't want to support Ubuntu actively anymore, whatever. This is, by the way, now the install process, as you can see. Yeah, if that would happen, a project like Linux Mint could be in all kinds of trouble. Due to the open source licensing, the code will not die. However, running your own distro is not exactly an easy thing to do. I mean, let's say you would have to take over or re-engineer or even service all the former Ubuntu users if Ubuntu is gone and they would all switch to Mint. That would be a ginormous undertaking. I mean, there are servers that need to be maintained, there's bills that need to be paid, energy bills, rent for the buildings, the developers. Canonical does that, or at least partially, with their enterprise Linux and all kinds of things they do in that environment. And with Linux Mint, wow, that would be a heavy burden. So it totally makes sense for them. Since Ubuntu in itself is also a fork of Debian, why not fork it straight from Debian, and then we are solidly founded in the Debian open source community, and this potential threat of Canonical something happening with Ubuntu is basically avoided. That is a very smart move to do. If you ever see this, use LVM, Logical Volume Management, during your installation. It's something I've never used. It's not that it is not needed, but if you install regularly, you have just predefined partitions on your hard drive, and if I understand correctly, LVM will keep your hard drive flexibly partitioned. So if one partition needs a little bit more room, it can then do that automatically. I think that's what it is. Don't quote on me. If you need information, you have to look that up. Regularly, you technically don't really need that. This will delete all the, yes, of course it will. Yes, we would like to do that. Remove the installation media. Linux Mint, let's go. First steps. No, I don't want to. The software manager is basically your storefront. So, this is what a lot of people say beginners should install. it detected our Wi-Fi. We just have to log in. Okay, if there's a lot of banging and booming prior to this, I apologize. My son decided it would be great to jump off the couch exactly above me. Anyhow, Linux Mint does a decent job. It is pretty easy to set up and everything. However, I personally think, but that is personal opinion, they could ship with a more standard icon pack, because I installed Linux Mint on my wife's laptop and she wanted to just use the browser and she did not associate this with Firefox. Oh, see, it detected our printer right off the bat. Fantastic. There's also another thing I don't really like, but once again, it's my personal opinion. You have this dark background, you have the dark theme down here, but then your windows are all light. I'm not a big fan of light windows. It has something to do with that I work in dark rooms and that really makes it hard on my eyes. But you might not have that issue. So if you go to display settings, here we are. We have our display, we can switch. Let's go crazy. Holy cow, yes, that works. No, we do not want that, thank you. Okay, what's going on here now? Oh, I see. Why does that run on 30 Hertz? Why do I not have 60 Hertz? Might be a graphic driver thing, I don't know. I will not investigate that. Let's see, create new document. Just get an empty document, no LibreOffice, but LibreOffice should be installed. Like, let's check out the file manager. Looks very file managery, nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, see, in this time they do not have that little green running man. Whatever. This would be your software manager or app store, if you want to call it that way. Even though I believe Apple, didn't they kind of like trademark that term, app store? Therefore, Google had to call theirs Play Store or whatnot. Even so, here you are. This is where you would get, see, Blender, Audacity for audio recording, certain drawing programs like Inkscape, I mean it's vector-based, Spotify, Telegram. And if you can see here, FreeTube, for instance, comes as a Flatpak as a source from FlatHub. And that is one of the things where Linux Mint differs from Ubuntu, even though this one is now not based on Ubuntu, but it comes with Flatpak pre-configured, which is nice to see. Let's check out the browser real quick, and I'm pretty sure it works. Oh look, it has already, don't even have to type. There we go, and it should work. And also the audio is set up. One thing I noticed is that the majority of stuff, majority of Linux distros, when they ship, or what means majority, the ones I tried, they always work with the, or ship with the volume somewhere between, I don't know, 35 and 50%, so that they don't blast your eardrums. Now, if the sound is a little bit quiet at first, or you have a separate sound adjuster somewhere, that might be why you can't hear anything. Okay, where were we? Okay, Linux Mint, nonsense, LibreOffice. Should be under Office, LibreOffice Writer. There it is. Once again, that was differently positioned or differently scaled in that Deepin, whatever distro. But whatever, it works, right? Now let's see if we can change to a dark theme. Must be here in settings somewhere, which would be this. Themes. Dark. Does it translate? In fact, it does translate. Oh! Look at that, it translates as far as that even the actual document viewer is dark. Nice to see. No, don't save, thank you. Let's check out if we can switch this icon package. Where would that be? It's not in themes. Oh, here we go. Linux Mint images. Let's change to this one, huh? That looks actually pretty cool. Oh, see, this would be the update manager. I don't have to worry about. It's quite nice in that regard. Images, the settings. No, I don't want that. I do not know how to switch the icons. That is not because it can't be done, it is because I don't know how to do it. Can I do that down here maybe? Right click into the taskbar and then panel settings. No, that really just adjusts the panel. Okay, fair enough. Go right click and then you can also access, where was it now? System settings down here. That's a nice thing to do. Okay, I can't find that now. Oh, see, this is also a nice feature to have. System snapshots. You can set up snapshots so that it basically gives you a rollback function. So if you do an update and something breaks, or you install some kind of a software and something breaks, or you accidentally think you install a software, but then the software removes packages it was not supposed to remove, then you can just reboot and then roll back to a previously saved snapshot. I'm not going to get into that, but it is a very nice feature to have. Well, yeah, this is Linux Mint. As I said, it does a really good job being accessible for new users, and in that regard a lot of people tell you to use it, but on the other hand, me personally, I don't like the icon layout. There's a lot of things I don't really like about it. It could, in my opinion, look a little bit more modern, and I think if you have a, let's say if you have Linux Mint or Kubuntu, Kubuntu looks more modern and it has, in my experience, the same new user accessibility. But after using Linux for quite some time now, and in that regard KDE desktop environments, I'm also not the newest user there is anymore, so you have to pick your own poison.